What's up, everyone? Welcome back to our video. Today we are ranking every melee weapon in Fortnite that you can still use in creative mode today. So the reason I'm doing it like that is because if you get these weapons in creative games like Pillars or something like that, you want to know which one's the best and which one you should take over which ones you should drop immediately. If you're actually looking for a melee weapon. If you're not, a lot of these have amazing mobility as well. So first things up, we've got by far the worst melee weapon ever. The ballistic shield. Oh, but that has a range feature. I don't care! I'm looking for actual melee weapons. And yes, this does damage if you hit somebody with it. Garbage. Next up, we've got the Sideways Scythe, which every YouTuber who has ever done a ranking video on melee weapons knows that this thing sucks. It's super clanky. It doesn't do that much damage. The dash attack sucks, like doing this, but then you can barely turn. Basic attack, the slam attack is its only redeeming feature, and even that sucks. By far the worst, true melee weapon ever. Next up, the chainsaw. Now, the chainsaw people see, oh, it's got super good mobility. Yeah, it does have good mobility, but I don't care about mobility. I'm looking for melee weapons. If you don't know, I love melee weapons in any game because oftentimes you can use them to beat people out even if they have guns. On multiple occasions in actual competitive esports tournaments, I have killed entire teams by myself with just using a certain melee weapon that's down there. And if you don't know, yeah. Next up, we've got the basic hammer. What is this? I think it's only exclusive to creative mode, but the basic hammer and the basic sword are the exact same. Literally could be interchangeable. They both can block. They both can attack. The only reason the sword is a little higher is because it's got a faster attack than the hammer. They both have an in-air attack that lands. They're literally the exact same. The hammer is just a slower version, but it does more damage. But that's we're not including the pickaxe. Just because. Next up, the grapple blade. What do you mean? That's not a melee weapon. Yeah, it is. This attack and this attack, which the only reason it's not lower is because it has more range than a regular melee weapon, and that it's got super high mobility, and that grapple does do damage if it lands. So it's a good weapon, just not a good melee weapon. Or it's more of a mobility item to begin with, anyways. Now we have the vampiric blade and the kinetic blade. Again, they are the same thing. They literally have no differences. The only reason the vampiric blade is lower than the kinetic blade is because it's harder to find, because it's mythic and that's only epic. And they're so bad. They're cool, good mobility. I'm gonna keep saying this until people get it done. Good mobility. The attack knocks people away. You can't use it as a melee weapon because it just knocks people away every time you hit them. It has the same damage. It has the same everything, same distance on attacks. It is literally the exact same weapon. and it's not meant to be used as a melee weapon. Next up, the shockwave hammer. And every single person who's ever used this thing is yelling at me right now because of this. Yeah, guys, it has the same problem as the kinetic blade and vampiric blade. It knocks people away. Okay, here's some good things that melee weapons should do. They should have good mobility so you can get up close, which this does well. It should be does a lot of damage, either in a quick burst or really quickly. This one doesn't do that much damage in a slow burst. So it's got the first thing, but it doesn't have the second or third thing. So I can't have it any higher than this. Next up, the rocket drill, which has good mobility, has good consistent damage, and it also rips through builds, which is the biggest problem for melee weapons, is that it rips through builds. That are the three categories. Can it destroy builds quickly, which that also can do, but can it attack quickly? It does like a good DPS, and does it have good mobility, build destroyer, and have good DPS. Next up, the foundation power gloves. Has got the uppercut, and then it's got the direct damage, which you can just go right for somebody with it, so you can punch with it. The only problem with these is that it had durability, like it could only be used a certain amount of time, and it had a cooldown. If it just had one or the other, I feel like it could have been way higher than the next thing, which is the Nitro Fists. The only reason that I put this lower is that it has one less charge. These only have four charges, where the Nitro Fists have 5 charges and do the exact same thing, and it's faster. Like the plow, and there's actually just a melee feature, like that you can just punch. You don't have to be in air to do the slam attack. There's an actual punching feature. So, yeah, Nitro Fist, way better. Next up, before the top 3, the Chains of Hades, which are classified as a melee weapon. I wouldn't classify them as a melee weapon. I wouldn't classify the first thing as a melee weapon either. But the best part about this is that you can pull people towards you, which as a melee weapon is nuts. You knock them away with that, you reach them and pull them right back in, making it a supreme weapon, even if people wouldn't consider it to be a melee weapon. You see how short of range that is? It only goes like 20 meters. But this goes like 50 plus meters. You pull people in. It doesn't have the mobility, but it does have what the mobility is striving to do, which is bring people closer to you. So, it has good DPS. It has good... Does it destroy builds well? Yeah, I'd say so. Next up, we have the Kneecapper. Now, the Kneecapper, I'd say, is just a worse Typhoon Blade. It has the same effects as a Typhoon Blade, where you take no damage if you hyper jump, for like no fall damage if you do a big leap. It has the same attacks, just a little clunkier, and then it has this secondary attack, which is just worse than the Typhoon Blade's attack, and it doesn't have like a ground smash attack. And then it goes through builds pretty well. which is the only thing that's not making it worse than the Chains of Hades. Next up, we have my favorite weapon in the roster, the Typhoon Blade. You give this to me, and the entire lobby is dead. The Typhoon Blade, I'd say, is arguably better than the Infinity Blade. And I'd say it's arguably better than the Infinity Blade. The Infinity Blade, anybody can use. The Typhoon Blade, when put in the right hands, when put in my hands, you're not just spamming the combos, spamming the attacks. No. You start it with your secondary fire. You jump up, land on them, and then do this. And then you just keep moving around until they're dead. Nothing survives that. The only thing that makes the Typhoon Blade worse than the Infinity Blade is it has a durability. It also nukes builds. Like, you saw the secondary fire actually kills builds, but so does the primary fire. And finally, you all knew it was coming. The best melee weapon ever. You add glider redeploy to this thing, and you don't die. So, the main thing of the Infinity Blade is 75 damage on every hit of this. If that hit somebody directly, 200 damage dead instantly. 150 if they're close enough. And you get passive regeneration. You can't build, which is the downside, but who needs building when you can nuke builds just as easily? And then you can also glider redeploy in creative maps. This is by far the best melee weapon that Fortnite has ever added, and I don't know why they ever did. Thank you guys for watching. CJ, signing off. Bye.